if you go to the, I think it's usually the bottom of the screen, you could see the manage participants. You open that up, and then that window at the bottom on the left, there ought to be a place for you to click a hand to click on to raise hand. Okay, I think people have it. Looks like most people are ready. So next team up is Impact Toolbox. So it's all yours.
Thank you, Rob. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here. My name is Shegun. I'm one of the Obama Foundation scholars at the Harris School of Public Policy. I'm studying international development, and I'm here with my colleague Lynn, who is also from Harris, an MS Cap student. This is Impact Toolbox to make social impact easy. To make social impact easy. Impact Toolbox is a subscription-based digital incubation platform for young social change leaders who have identified one problem or the other in their communities. The platform provides them with an opportunity to learn about leadership, community change, community development, and social entrepreneurship. It's targeted towards the youth population in Africa, which we all know is booming and increasing, and experiencing overwhelming unemployment. The platform is geared towards harnessing the demographic dividends that is provided by this youth boom while reducing unemployment. We hope to train about 86,000 young social change leaders over 5 years, generate a revenue of 1.9 million, and provide funding for about 390 new social ventures over the next 5 years. As I said earlier, the problem is youth unemployment and increased youth population. Growing up in Nigeria, I experienced this firsthand. I graduated as a dental surgeon and couldn't find a job. But luckily for me, I was able to start a small dental clinic with a friend. And seeing the success of that dental clinic, it inspired me to found a non-profit organization known as the Zozo Networks. Through the Zozo Networks, we were able to create a curriculum that has served over 12,000 youths through different programming. And we've been able to help over 1,000 young people to develop social entrepreneurial ideas and community leadership programs that are changing their communities. And over the past 5 years, we've developed a vast network of supporters, funders, and community of young people who are leading social change. The next slide shows some of our beneficiaries and some of the programs that have ventures that have come up out of this curriculum, from changing how people take beverages to providing healthier alternatives to extending education to rural areas and slum, to providing support to smallholder farmers, to the young man on your screen went through our program, started his own nonprofit. An organization saw his work and decided to employ him. The reason why we started thinking about an online platform is based on some of our recent programs. 2 years ago, we got funding from the USAID and IREX to organize a grant writing course where we brought in experts from the US to Nigeria. We recorded those classes and turned them to online classes. Through those online classes, without any form of major publicity or marketing, we've been able to serve about 305 people who paid 30,000 each. And some of them had come back to tell us that they've won grants. We recorded close to 600,000 grants that they've won. Last year, we also got another funding from the US Embassy to host another boot camp across the country. We received an overwhelming 4,500 applications, but sadly, we're only able to train just 200 people. And this is due to human resource problems and logistic constraints. And we started thinking, how can we reach more people, considering that this population is increasing, more people are unemployed. but they are so interested in leading change. How can we provide them with the technical support, the technical skills and training that they need? So we started piloting the Impact Toolbox. At the moment, we've gone through a stage with about 20 participants, throwing a concerted curriculum of everything they need to develop their ideas into a viable social venture. They all pay 45 US dollars, and we are gradually seeing their ideas come into shape. This is what the Impact Toolbox offers. It offers a self-paced 3-month virtual learning, and it covers 10 topics. These 10 topics are developed as a result of all our interactions and discussions with all the youths that we've trained. And it includes gamification and use of toolkits to make learning and practicing what they have learning and developing their social ventures easy. At the end of every 3 months, each person would have designed a business plan, and other strategies, including the theory of change and all the business models that they need to be able to assess possible funding. It also goes along with 3 months of coaching by other young entrepreneurs who are in the region to provide local context. The juicy part of this whole idea is the peer-to-peer support that comes with bringing a lot of young people together. They'll be able to give each other feedback, and they will be able to support each other over a lifetime, collaborate across value chain. At the end of every year, we would accept business plans and application for seed funding. Based on our current financial model, we're able to give a 3,000 funding to about 390 people over the 5 years. These people would then be attached to mentors over 6 months who would actually guide them on how to use this funding. These are our local competitors and online competitors. The uniqueness of our products is that we are looking at new ideas from people who seemingly shouldn't have an idea, people who are young, and most of these projects, most of these organizations serve already developing ideas. For the online courses, they provide, Acumen Philanthropy University provide different kind of courses, but none is really concerted towards incubation or providing seed funding or coaching. The market is really large, and it promises that it's to increase to about 1.8 billion over the next 4 years. We are targeting early adopters who have access to internet, and they're about 2 million. This is how we measure success. We expect about 80% completion rate. We expect about 30% would gain employment. We expect 40% to launch an idea at least. And these are the metrics for our social return on investment. We expect to have trained 86,000 people over the 5 years and incubate about 27,000 ideas, and about 21 people going through this program should gain employment. And the organizations that will fund should be able to generate about 1,500 jobs. My colleague Lynn would walk us through the financials.
So thank you. So yes, let me walk you through the projected financials of our venture. So based on preliminary market research and also the feedback from the pilot program that we're running right now, we believe that we can price at a one-time lifetime cost of $30 per person for an individual. But we also expect to receive a lot of customers from like groups, organizations, or universities who would purchase in large quantities, and we will price at a discount at $20 per person. We expect to reach 10,000 subscribers in the first year. That would translate to $220,000 in revenue. Next slide, please. So with that revenue, I'm gonna talk about the cost. We expect to spend about $120,000 to get the platform up and running in the first year. There are 3 components to the cost. The fixed cost at $30,000 would be for the curriculum development and the course materials development. And then $73,000 would be for the yearly recurring cost of staff payments and also the stipends to the mentors supporting our platform. And another $18,000 would be for marketing purposes to reach the subscriptions that we need. So that leaves about $100,000 in terms of profit, which we will then fund towards the top 30 projects that we think are most promising, and stay break even in the first year. So we have raised $5,000 so far and seeking to raise another $121,000. Also, next slide. This is just our projection growth in the first 5 years. Next slide, please. So there are two members on the team, Segun, who has had 10 years of work experience in the international development space, and I've had, and myself, who have had 5 years of work experience in the technology and data analytics space. We also have Ms. Kelly and Professor Jesse as our advisors. In the past, we've partnered up with a lot of local and international organizations and will continue to do so in the future. To end the presentation, together, let's put young leaders at the front line of development in West Africa. That's the end of our presentation, and thank you for listening.
We'll now welcome your question to explain the project further.
Great, thank you. Questions? I think now the judges all know where the hands raises, and we already have a question. It's all yours.
That be
me?
Or
please go ahead. Miriam, please go ahead.
Hi. Here, let me put my video on.
Yeah.
Thank you for your presentation.
You.
Really impressive turnout for your pilot. So you said you had 4,500 applicants. Is that right?
Yes, we have 4,500 applicants.
So how did that, what was your marketing strategy like for, to get those applicants, and how does it compare to what you're planning to do once you deploy your LMS?
Yes, thank you so much. That's a good question. So from all our partner lists that you've seen, we've worked with different youth organizations. Like the Yali Network alone across Africa has about 512,000 young people already on a social network. So basically what we did was to market through all those channels, posting on those Facebook groups without spending any money, and people jumped on it. So that was how we're able to recruit that, get as much applications as that. And we'll continue to use such approaches. And we're also budgeting some certain amount for more publicity, marketing, ads, and also spending some money to traveling to universities and schools to discuss this project with them. One of the major drivers of these numbers in terms of subscription is the discount that we're offering to universities and organizations that already work with youths. For them, they will get a 30% discount. So for individuals are paying $30, schools will be able to pay $20. And we've done different kind of discussions and market testing with different prices, starting from $100. And we realized that this category of people are only able to pay about that $22, $25. So the pricing would make it more affordable for a lot of subscriptions to come in. So basically working with universities, getting universities on board and organizations is one of our major key criteria. Although we'll be doing social media and all the likes, but we're not really depending on it. We are depending on our core network.
Got it. I had another question around financing these social ventures. So you mentioned again, your pilot was a grant writing workshop.
Yes, we started with the grant writing.
So are you also planning on finding ways to connect them with capital?
Yes. So this is one of our plans going forward. I'm trying to click on the appendix so that I can show you, but I think I'm no longer in charge. So basically, our goal for the future is to be that organization that you go to when you think of investing in Africa. to have access to trained individuals or projects that you can fund. The fact that we've trained them and we've committed and sent and put a stake in these businesses signals to investors that they can actually invest in them. And we will also be having 10% equity in every organization that we'll invest in, or every idea that we invest in. So with that, we would have the incentive to also work for them by leveraging all our international partners, both impact investors and philanthropists, to tell them that these are organizations that we work with and invested in, and knowing that if they invest in those, people will benefit us, would keep us going. That so we intend to do that. Part of the people that we've trained also for grant writing are people that have gotten funding from organizations that have funded us.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I would look for the next question now. I have 6 participants raising their hands. I'll go to Kathleen. Kathleen.
Sagun, just before the question, you should be able to take control back of the screen.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, that would make my explanation really easier.
Thank you so much. 2 questions, great presentation. One, I'm trying to get to a little bit about your program design and the sustainability of it. What are you imagining in terms of mentor to young entrepreneur ratio? I know that the annual cost mentioned mentor stipend, so just trying to think about how much that might impact your annual costs from a year-to-year perspective. And then my second question is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with African Leadership University and the work that Fred Speaker is doing. Just curious if you see any similarities here or how this venture might differ from some of the work that's happening there.
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. For your first question, at the moment, based on our model, for the first 3 months of training, which is online, we have a 1:50 ratio. And what we expect that to be like, we don't expect all students to go to the coaches at the same time. Also, we will be posting on the platform some recorded sessions with these coaches already. So they will have those, they will have their experiences already. But if any students need to have a one-on-one session, they will have access to a 1-hour session with any of the coaches. So it's about 1 coach to 50 students. But at the second phase, where we've given them seed funding, it is a one-on-one mentorship arrangement. And we're using the same coaches, but because we're like in the first year, we're funding just about 20 ideas. So we have more coaches than students. And for the second question as regards ALU, yes, I know ALU very well. 2 of our coaches currently works with ALU as faculty for entrepreneurial leadership. And we also have one of our of the people that passed through our program as a student. He was one of the youngest people we ever had take our course, and is currently studying at ALU. ALU does very similar, but it's just that they're located in South Africa, and there's limits to the number of people they can reach, which is why Impact Toolbox is basically looking at being able to democratize that opportunity, extend this access to people in the corners of their rooms, develop ideas that organizations like ALU can see and grant them scholarships, US Embassy can see and give them funding for their projects.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll call on Andy. Sorry, I've been seeing Linda for a while, so let me call Linda Shapiro. Sorry, Andy, I'll call you next.
Oh, it's all right.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. And also exciting. And I have a question related to the last one. I'm thinking about it in terms of personnel management. You know, the coaching seems really important. And I know you talked a little bit about stipends with the last question, but it seems like you're moving appropriately to a pretty significant scale. And I'm not sure, even with the online coach, you sound like you're going to record some of the coaching. I was just wondering, how do you envision matching the scope of coaching to the scope of, your business development? And in particular, if you're going to relate to multiple coaches, how are you going to manage all that and make sure that there's some kind of quality control and outcomes that are, aligned with your values and vision?
Yeah, thank you so much, Linda. That's a very good question. The model that we're using at the moment was first used by the USAID for their yearly program, mentorship program. And what they did was to create a detailed guide for coaches and students, which includes accessibility, the number of hours they would need for the coaching. It also comes with a contract that every individual signs. The students will write a report or a feedback about their coaches. Coaches will do that for every student that they speak with as well. And that's one way of actually managing or monitoring the quality of the sessions that they have. We want to make it as automated as possible, so that would reduce the efforts that we have to put into that. And that is why those policies would actually be helpful. Yali has done it for most of their participants, and it's been successful. I've served for about 3 years as a mentor on that program. And the guidelines kind of keeps me in check and ensures that I deliver quality.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so, Andy, I'll call you now.
All right. Well, good. Well, I appreciate it. This was an awesome presentation, and the experience you have and prior success. I don't think I've seen a presentation in the years of doing this where there's enough proof at the beginning of the general idea. So that's pretty amazing. With regards to the virtual peer-to-peer network, so I'm unfamiliar with the space. Are any of the other organizations you referenced as similar? Have any of them really mastered the art of virtual networking?
That's the good thing. No, all of us, including what we do at the moment, are currently using Facebook groups as a platform for social network. And the best that we've seen so far was done by IREX, which one of our competitors, Tech, is always doing, by creating the what we call Name and Faces app. So for everybody that has participated in the program, you could use a keyword, maybe by sector, to look for where a particular participant work, or maybe a country to look for where a particular participant work. And that's like the best we've seen so far. So, and that's the model we are using for now, being able to have that kind of database that you can use their profiles to search for them. And if you have to do business or collaborate with them, you can go check it out. And if there is any general discussion, we're currently using a Facebook group for that. So if there are any more new innovation or better ways to do that, that would be very helpful for us.
So I guess building on that and thinking about this moment we're in where every social interaction is becoming more virtual by the day, and it's going to just keep going more and more as we head to whatever normal comes out of the situation we're in. Do you think there's any aspects of the rapid Zoomification, or even that we can have an event like